Well, hello, hello, hello. It is season 3 of Real Talk with Marsha-Ann. And I'm telling you, I am so excited to really kickstart season 3. Behind the scenes, I need you to know that every butterfly that could possibly exist on the planet entered my tummy. I'm like, oh my goodness, I don't even remember what to do. Can you believe that? Hi there. Welcome. Let's call this our reunited, and it feels so good. Thank you so much for joining. I bring you greetings today. Took a long break, but it was so needed. And I want to hear how you have been. I certainly am excited about what God is gonna do for us in this season. If you are claiming that this is the best season that you are entering in, and that God is on your side, and that you are believing bigger and greater, if you're believing bigger, let me see you drop that in the comment, because it's not about what has been behind, but it is really about pressing forward for what God has in store. So thank you so very much for joining. For those of you who are new here, or if you're catching the replay, Real Talk is a space that we really want to believe that collectively we are truly stronger together. And we truly believe that we have to support one another. And in doing so, this is a space where I want you to know that Real Talk has been designed to engage, encourage, and empower, and ensure that we are truly living our lives of purpose, passion, and prosperity. And so, yeah, foot on the pedal, we are pressing forward. And I have chosen a topic that's near and dear to me because, believe me, if I did not say to self, just start, I would have been in that contemplating mode. Can I do this? Will I do this? What do I need to do to make it better? And that kind of continuous over assessment leaves us into paralysis. So, to you, I would say, I want you to challenge yourself, because I have some other things that I am challenging myself for the last 3 months in this year. And some of it is going to be habit forming to lend to a better 2022. Because if we go in strong, we are expected to finish strong. And so it doesn't make sense that we hide from ourselves the things that we need to develop and work on, right? We must all confess our own areas that we need improvement. So there are goals and objectives that you may have for yourself. I have for mine. So let me just give you 2 examples of the importance. And I want you to write this down. Today's date, October the 3rd. I want you to write down just start, because you're going to hold yourself accountable today. And if you need someone to really come alongside you and hold you accountable as well, because there is something that you know you want to start, or you started and shelved. So for me, I'm going to use myself because I'm my best example. So nothing happens until we make a decision. Agreed? If you agree, let me hear from you. So nothing happens until you make a decision. The other aspect is nothing happens until you determine that your why is going to drive you. Agree? Good. So if we agree to that, and you have to comment and let me know if you agree to that, we're going to understand why sometimes we are so delayed, because our why isn't strong enough to push us. So let me use myself as an example. I'm going to talk about how I kickstarted. I made a decision to really work on my health and wellness. I have procrastinated for so long, the classic start, stop, start, stop. But I made a decision, and the decision was not a convenient decision. And it wasn't one that I could safely say I would keep up with. But the other aspect of this ability to just start means shifting the mindset. So my why became, it's so important to really invest in our health and our wellness. And if that becomes the why, it's not about the physical gains, more about the overall wellness as a person. So that why became strong for me. And then I had to build systems in place to support my why, whether it was removing some of the temptations from the snack box. Yes, I love to snack. Whether it was ensuring that I did enough prep to keep me in line with enjoying what's supposed to be the healthier options. So we really have to become highly strategic about the things we want to start. And so that's only one example. And then the other example meant really maintaining it as a lifestyle. So it's not about when it's convenient, but it's about taking out your working out clothes the night before. It's about having the bottle of water ready where you are going to work out. It's about setting that alarm clock and making sure that you are consistently getting up to do the workout. Whatever your why is, I want us to agree today that the only way to start is to make a decision. And so I have written out some of the things that I looked at and assessed for myself. So look at I sent a note to some of you that says, I literally got butterflies to start this episode because I took a break. It was a well-needed break. We have to give ourselves grace. A lot of things happened in that window of time. But if you follow the feelings, if you follow emotions, if you follow mood, if you follow vibe, if you follow waiting on the perfect time, let me tell you, you won't start anything. Period. End of story. So I had reason up to about 2 hours ago to think, wait a minute, I've made a commitment to start, but there's something else that I am supposed to be a part of this evening. But what's the big word there? Commitment. And sometimes we have to throw ourselves out into the deep end and then determine, how can I pedal? Throw yourself out in the deep end and determine, how can you pedal? How can you swim? How can you doggy paddle? And so I ask you today, are you willing to make a commitment on one thing that you know you need to start? And if so, drop that in the comment. I am willing to commit, because your brain automatically register what you actually put out. It really is fascinating. So in the back of your head, you know you have made a commitment to yourself. Why would you want to break a commitment from yourself? You shouldn't. So write it down. I am committing to myself. And you know what that thing is that you wish to commit to. So I'm willing to commit. Very good. The fact that you've written that down on your own, you can complete for your own privacy exactly what you want to commit. So what does just start mean? We're going to put down the pointers that I have listed about identifying how you're going to just start. And look at the bright side. If we don't have an end game in mind, if we don't have a finishing line, we're just going to honestly be functioning in this gap of, oh, I'm going to just do it. I'm going to apply myself. But if there's no deadline, if you have an assignment to do, what do you get? Whomever gives you an assignment, whether it's at work or at school, or if you're doing a program, they give you an assignment and it says it's due by date X. And isn't it funny how you are so willing to commit to completing an assignment that's due for everyone else, but you are willing to put off an assignment that might be a part of fulfilling your purpose? I want that to soak. I'm going to say it again. Isn't it funny how you would be willing to make a commitment, honor that commitment, and honor it for someone else, and meet that deadline, and yet still make your commitment to yourself a possible postponement. Why? Not after today. You said you get a drape up. Yes, absolutely. We have to drape up ourselves. Because the truth is, it's a part of that high achievers syndrome that I want us to work on at dismantling. As high achievers, we are always willing to say, oh, I'm going to meet that deadline. I'm actually going to exceed that expectation. I'm going to do that and I'm going to over deliver. But self is over here. You have some obligations to you. And you have postponed some of those obligations because you are busy putting everything and everyone else ahead and exceeding those deadlines. So here's the deal. This is the pact that we are, it happens all the time, absolutely. This is the agreement that we need to make together. Today, October the 3rd, we already know that it is said, and I've said this repeatedly, it is said that it takes 21 days to form a habit and 90 days to make it a lifestyle. How timely is this? How timely is this that we are recommitting to ourselves and really holding ourselves accountable to say, if it's 21 days to form a habit and 90 days to create a lifestyle, what is one thing that you know you simply need to start today? Just start and then sustain it for the 21 days and make it an actual cemented commitment to yourself by 90 days. You will not be the same person, whatever that it is. It could be personal development, which has so many tentacles. It could be professional development, so many tentacles. It could be focusing on one thing that's going to lead you closer to your purpose. That is so very important. Because when we delay, we deny ourselves and we deny God of what He has given us to do as an assignment. It is so important to own it. Thank you so much for joining. It is so important to own it. So you have an obligation to yourself. You show up for your clients. You show up in your work world. You show up for your children. You show up for your friends and your family. But when was the last time you showed up for yourself and said, I am no longer breaking these commitments to self? When was the last time? When was the last time you believed in yourself strongly enough to say, now is the time, and to take that one step and put in front of the other and say, let's do this. And let's is self, eh? You must have these healthy conversations with self. So today is about just starting. How are you going to do it? The very first thing that you have done, thank you so much for joining. I am so happy. When you're through with this, please share it with someone else who needs it and pass it on as well. First and foremost, you have taken the time out to join. That's a big thing because you understand that out of 24 hours, you are choosing to give me and yourself with an investment in time. In this 1 hour period or less, we are saying to ourselves, I am worth an investment by just starting to do this one thing. What is that investment that you need to do? All right, we're going to break it down. You must know it for yourself, and you're going to write down what you know you need to do. So the S in start, and I've written these points down because I want it to be that we take this seriously. So S in start means you first have to have a system in place. Remember, the first thing is that your mindset has to say, I am ready. So drop that in the comments. I am ready. You're not just willing, but no, you're ready. So when you type that in, you are committing to yourself, you're ready. So I am ready. Type it in. I want to see it. Because now that you know you're ready to what? Start. So I'm ready to start. The S, your mindset has engaged you that you are ready to start. The S means that you've got to set up a system for success. A system that becomes resistant proof. What do I mean? Things will come at you the moment you have made a decision that you and God have agreed you are ready to start whatever your it is. Remember, your buckets are personal development, professional development. They have so many tentacles on it. So it could be your spiritual growth. It could be your financial health. It could be working towards your purpose. It could be emotional health. It could be relationships. It could be new business ideas, taking your business to the next level. I don't know what it is, but you know and God knows. But nothing happens until you know you have made that decision. So you have said, I am ready to start. So the S means setting up a system. The system that you design has to be a resistant proof system. You know, like how we talk about getting a water resistance case for our phone because we want to go swimming and we can't afford that when we're on the water, that it's going to damage the phone. No different. You need something that is going to create a shatterproof system that when resistance comes against you, you still stand because you know you need to start this thing and you need to start and keep pedaling. One. So that system has to also be something that doesn't reside here, but you determine for yourself. So you're going to need to write it down. What are the things that I need to do for myself in an effort to get a shatterproof system to start? So, what are those things? You're going to write them down. So, let's use an example of exercising or fitness or health and wellness. Your system would need to be getting your calendar in front of you, determining the days that you can start. Then you say to yourself, you want this to be a sustainable habit. So you are probably going to start with 2 days a week. You need to choose the 2 days. And when you choose those 2 days, you choose the times. These are not times that you say, oh, I don't feel like it. A resistant proof system means I am doing this at this time. But in addition to your system, sometimes for you to achieve your just start, you must also remember that you need support. Sometimes you need to be able to say to yourself, who can support me along this journey? They can't do it for you. A coach can't do it for you. Somebody else can't do it for you. Your best friend can't do it for you. Your colleague can't do it for you. You have to do it for yourself. But your decision is vital. Your decision has to mean this commitment that I'm making, this which I'm doing, I'm just going to say to my mom, or I'm going to say to my closest counterpart, hold me accountable. Yes, every Monday and Wednesday, I am going to work out and I am definitely sticking with the program. It becomes non-negotiable. What's the word? Non-negotiable. It's not optional unless it is an act of nature, an extreme situation, or you're very unwell. This is a date you are making with yourself. It could be that you're working on your purpose, and a part of your purpose includes identifying how this vision that God has given to you, how it needs to be ignited. How are you going to ignite it if you don't start? Does that mean that on your same calendar, you determine here are 2 days that is for me to put to learning and development of how I need to take this vision to the next level? Does it mean that I need to invest in myself and have a coach? Does it mean that I'm going to take these 2 days and write out my vision plan? But you understand that we can write pages and pages and do nothing. So, other than system and support, the T in START speaks to setting targets. What are the targets that you need to set for yourself? And what are the targets you need to establish? So, you have the system, calendar, 24 hours in a day, 2 days out of the week is dedicating to this thing that you want to start. But now that you know you're starting, the T in START, set yourself a target. What is that target? What do you want to achieve? What is your why? Because if your why isn't strong enough, you understand that it becomes optional. You are going to change your mind. You are going to have a change of heart. You're going to say, oh, I'll do it next week. Can't be bothered. Oh, something will distract you. You'll be swayed by your emotions. You will postpone doing this, which is so important for you to do. But set the target and keep it. Now, here is something that is also known to work, and I'm doing it again. I did it before and I shelved it. But put this, which you need to do, where you visit the most: the bathroom. You know you're there all the time. You have to wash your face, you have to brush your teeth first thing in the morning, last thing at night. You know it. Stick it on the mirror and establish for yourself what you know you need to do. So you have that commitment to you. So you're setting a target. What is your target? If it's health and wellness, is your target to drink 24 fluid ounces of water every day? That's measurable. Get a cup that has 24 fluid ounces, fill it up in the morning, and by the end of the day, you must finish it, right? Okay. If your target is to ensure that your heart is in the best shape imaginable and you want to do more cardio, and twice a week you're saying, I don't have access to a gym or I am not able to go to a gym, let us write this down. No excuses. Determine where you can skip on the spot in your house for 10 minutes. I want us to establish a no excuses mentality. Like when the excuses begin to take over our minds, and they will, I want us to establish that we don't have any space for it. Write that down. Own it for yourself, because I'm owning it for me, and I'm in work in progress every day. So type it, no excuses. So that target of drinking 24 fluid ounces of water means that you've made the bottle, you've measured it first thing in the morning. At the end of the day, you would have met your target. If you didn't meet your target, ask yourself why. Get back on track, because there are things that you are going to fall off of, but are you making a consistent effort? Are you committed to the results that you want? My other letter is A. Nothing happens without taking action, and really being deliberate about the action and having the right attitude. Here is how I sum up the right attitude. The right attitude for me means it doesn't mean that everything is right. It doesn't mean that you are in the ideal circumstance. It doesn't mean that work is perfect. It doesn't mean that home is perfect. It doesn't mean that you have all the funds you want. It doesn't mean that you don't have unforgiveness still bottled up in your heart, but you know that with the right attitude, you go to God with a surrendered heart. It does not mean that things are ideal. What it means, though, is that your attitude is of such where you have looked in the mirror and you have said to self, you know what? You are worth it. You are worth starting. You are worth holding this commitment for. You are worth getting this done. It's going to take effort. It's going to take time. It's going to take commitment. But girl, you are worth it. Type it in. I am worth it. When I tell you to type it in, It is with the understanding that you are telling our brain. I've been studying so much about the power of mindset, and I'm reading so much about the brain and how we have to activate our brain to doing things that we want to do, and it will respond to how we feel and how we act. So it's so very important that we have to command our brain. My mom would tell you that her legs are giving her a hard time, but she would hit it and say, "Come on, we got to do this. We've got to walk." So you remind yourself, I am worth it. Nobody's worth it more than you. God has put you here for this reason and season. It's time for you to start that thing which you know you ought to start. So we've identified already the S, the T, the A. What about the R? The R, I have a few. R, you've got to be ready. And getting ready is now. But most importantly, you have to decide for yourself that you need results and that you will reward yourself for those results. What are some of the rewards that you would give to yourself? We're going to use the example of working out or drinking more water or fulfilling your purpose. If you are right, if you have committed those 2 days to yourself and it's 1 hour, 60 minutes, are you telling me 24 hours in the day, you can't take out 60 minutes for yourself? It could mean that you deprive yourself of the things that distract you. Netflix, social media, sleeping a little bit longer than maybe we need to. You deserve that 1 hour. So if you are giving yourself and you are doing the thing and you are getting the results, reward yourself. Reward yourself. Write down what you had set as a target. Reward yourself. So here is what tends to be a big distraction for me. When I set my target too big and I don't make it digestible, I feel like it's unattainable. When I set my target by the week and by the month, and that's been something I've been doing more recently, I have found that my results are better because I'm saying, this week I am doing this 3 days a week and I'm going to make it happen. At the end of those 3 days, I did it. And instinctively, your mind is also going to say, wait a minute. I think you can add something else. You can, in fact, do a little bit more. What if it is that you want to start reading books again? Maybe it is that you set yourself a target. I'm going to do 1 chapter, just 1. And that makes a big difference. So always identify yourself that no matter what it is that you want to do, as difficult as it may be, and there's nothing that's too simple. It could be, like I said, so for somebody, just starting means I want to start drinking water. For somebody else, you might be the person that says, I want to actually have more devotion time. I want to exercise more. I want to write a journal. I want to write a book. I want to start a podcast. I want to start a business. I want to work on improving myself. I want to start a course. Go look up something on YouTube and commit to yourself. See what you want and start. So encourage yourself to push to that level of the R, results and rewards. For those of you who are just joining, welcome to the start of season 3. I see some of my near and dear folks in here, and I'm so happy that you have joined Real Talk with Marsha-Ann, and join us here on Sundays. We have kickstarted again. So we've gone STAR, and the T, the last T, is to say to yourself, remember your other T was setting yourself a target. I want you to set yourself such a firm, uncomfortable, time-bound goal. So just like how we know the SMART, which we apply to setting goals, I want you to apply the approach of a smart way to start, right? Have a smart way to start this which you want to do. And so that T for time bound, If you set the target, oh, I want to do this in 6 months, and you know it's something in your heart of hearts that you can accomplish in 3 months, are you really pushing yourself to that next level? Or could you really say to yourself, I want to do this in 3 months? Let us look at the challenge. Thank you. Thank you so much. Hey, look at Sharebi, my hostess with the mostest. Thank you. Look at this as an example. Let's talk about finances openly. A lot of us, well, I'll speak for myself, we know right now we are literally zipping, nipping, tucking, and squeezing to make sure that we stick within a budget, right? However, sometimes, talk the truth, you would agree that we spend on things instinctively when we ought not to. Not for deprivation, but simply because our emotions have afforded us to say, just go ahead and spend it and deal with it tomorrow. But the discipline has to be that we are doing this time bound. So could it be that you have a credit card that you owe X amount on, and you need to set a time bound target where you say to yourself, I need to pay off $200 by the end of the year. You can't pay that $200 off in a vacuum. It means you're going to take that $200, you're going to divide it by 90 days because that's what's left. And then you determine your per day dollar amount towards paying off that card. But then that's not enough, because it means then that you're going to say to yourself, all right, per day it's this, but for the week it's X. What am I going to do to make sure that that X comes in? So yes, realistic and time-bound goals become so very important, but not realistic to be so easy and so comfortable that we do nothing. I believe we are all understanding that starting then is not as difficult as we make it out to be. Starting begins with establishing the mindset, establishing today the why. So you owe it to yourself to write down, not tomorrow. Because when we delay, that spirit of procrastination is a haunt, you know. I struggle with that. And so I know if I were to put this off, I wouldn't get it done. My decision to start Real Talk today meant taking action. I decided today is the day. I set my system up again. I'm doing it. I have now set myself a target, how many episodes I want to do, who I know I want to have for the episodes, reaching out to those persons and really kickstarting. And nothing would happen if I didn't do the A. I have to take the action. And my attitude was this today. And I sent some of you messages going, help. Like, I can't believe I'm actually going to start, but I got butterflies. Starting can be uncomfortable for you. Some of you have made a commitment to yourself that you are not, God's willing, if our life is spared, you're not starting January 2022 the same. But then why are you going to delay on what you need to do, waiting on January the 1st? I find that our mind is wired to believe the beginning of the year, we just get into this motion, okay, I'm ready now. So if you're going to have to trick yourself into telling yourself that today is January the 1st, for you to take action on some of the things that you want to do, well, today is January the 1st. Happy New Year. Tell yourself it's time. Because if we know it's going to take 90 days for whatever you do to really be cemented, then you want to start today, that move, that desire of yours to really grow into your greater capacity come January the 1st, consider the steps that you're going to do now as your building blocks towards that. And I really believe that God has designed us for right now in this season to step to the next level. I shared a post yesterday about the importance of stepping. Sometimes all you need is one foot in front of the other. Please do not think about the mile or the marathon. Think about the one foot in front of one foot in front of the other. That's all. Don't do not compare somebody else's race with yours. This is your walk. This is you and God. This is not for somebody else. This could be about small habits, small changes, but nothing is going to happen unless you choose to start. And then I want to leave you with this. I want you to step into a new level of boldness. I also want to encourage you that there are things that you want that you have not asked for, and God is saying today, just ask. Just ask. You are believing for bigger, but you're not asking for what you need. You need to ask. A part of acting is asking for what you want. So, do you need help with something? Ask for the help. How often it is, especially high achievers, who want to achieve something, but pride is in the way and you need help, ask for it. Or it is that you want to do a new business venture and someone else is doing something similar, but you want to know the how, ask. And then boldly get into the direct messages of folks and ask for something. There are people waiting to bless you. People are not just people. People are waiting to bless you. God have appointed people to bless you. I did something before going on this live. I literally asked for something from someone who I do not know. And I literally said to the person, I need to do this because I sense that I'm going to do better and be greater for it. And God answered my prayer. How many of you can relate to stepping boldly and asking for something? And if God wants it for you, and if He knows you've asked with the right motive, you have blessings that are going to come your way. But when we are hesitant and when we don't ask, how are we going to get blessed? Closed mouths do not get fed. Closed mouths do not get fed. Ask for what you want. Believe in yourself. Believe in your vision. Believe in your mission. Believe in your purpose. Believe in the plan that God has for you. And when doubt and fear and unbelief comes your way, and it will, keep moving. One foot in front of the other. Press forward, because what's ahead is more than what's behind. You've got to silence the noise. So remember, just start means exactly that. Thank you. S, have a system. T, set a target. Don't forget, that's what's vital. A, you must take action and have the right attitude. It is vital to have the right attitude, because nothing happens until we apply that. And the right attitude begins with believing in yourself, believing that God has designed you for such a time as this. So believe in yourself. No matter what anyone has said to you, believe in yourself. Also remember that there are days that you have gone through when you did not even know how you carried yourself, because you didn't. One set of footprints in the sand, God carried you. For those of you who are entrepreneurs and this is your only source of income, and you know that that only source of income that you have dry wells, your wells are becoming dry, believe again. Start on whatever it is that God has given you to do. Yes, thank you. Take action and have the right attitude with it. And then to remember the R. The R, you want to have results and you want to reward yourself. Very important. And then the last T is making sure it's time bound. Yes, you got to be ready. You have to be ready. You've got to choose to be ready. Nothing happens until you make a decision. So I stand with you today knowing that each and every one of you, you have things inside of you that you need to give birth to. You have actions that you need to take. Starting could mean just starting with your morning devotion at a set time. Or starting could mean at the end of the day, you write 3 things that you're grateful for because you are in a heavy place. And like you just really want to re-energize yourself. No matter what your why is, it's your why. It's no one else's why. Don't devalue your why. Today, I'm here to remind you, make that commitment to yourself. You don't break commitments to others. Please don't break it to yourself. Make that commitment to yourself. Remember, you deserve this more than anything else. But I also want to remind you that time is a gift. Don't waste it delaying in doubt and disbelief. Silence those voices. And remember that the strategy that you apply for your S, that strategy becomes so very important. Make it resistant proof because the enemy will come in like a flood, you know. You've got to make sure that you stand and hold your ground and decide that you are worth it. And I also want to share with you that no matter what it is that you need to start, just start means that you're going to be a better version of yourself. And here's the beauty. You have the ability to bless someone else because you're going to employ this and then you're going to turn around and you're going to be able to teach someone. Isn't that beautiful? So when you learn, when you implement, when you gain, it's not just for you. This is implementable for someone else. Maybe this accountability person that you're going to select needs to be with you on this journey. They need to start their thing. You need to start yours. But know this, in a week, somebody needs to be direct messaging me saying, I've taken action. I'm not joking. Yes, start. In a month, somebody needs to direct message me because then remember 21 days would have passed. You would have done it. You would have set up a healthy habit, this healthy commitment to self. 21 days. Somebody said to me that they're reading, somebody on here decided to take on Proverbs and to just start reading Proverbs. That person blessed me because now this month, that's my thing that I'm also doing. So when we share one with another, I want us to open our hands. When we open our hands like this, when you rise in the morning, throughout the course of the day, or even now, open your hands like this. Because when you open your hands, you are ready to receive blessings, but you're also ready to give from your open hands. So you open to receive and you open to give. And when we share one with another, we help each other to grow. We are women who are set apart for such a time as this. And I want us to start this week. Yes, get the homework going. Thank you. Learn and share. So I hope that today's first episode, which I was extremely, when I say butterflies before I started, Yvonne said to me, act as if you're you're riding a bicycle. I said, but the wheels have fallen off. I took a leap of faith. I came on today and I want to say thank you. I could have had this to an audience of one, but my faithful people, you showed up for me and you matter. And I really want you to know that this just start. I feel strongly in my heart that there are other women who are like us that need to support one another, who need to really be guided along life's journey, because none of us have it easy. All of us on here have a story. Believe me, everybody have a story. But I really want to ask of you to pass this on to others. I am being bold to now say I really want this to grow, because I do believe there are others who can be blessed and we can gain from others who are a part of our community. I also want it to be that we share our best ideas and practices. Much like my sister friend shared and said, she decided to start Proverbs. I've had other sister friends on here who have gifted me with journals over the years, and they know that I have not been using them like I ought to. I want you to know that I began 2 days ago and said I'm going to be deliberate and I am going to start and be consistent. So I close this by saying commitment and consistency, decision and discipline will afford you to start and to sustain what you know you ought to be doing. And remember, at the end of the day, you owe it to yourself as a gift to really make sure that this life of yours is not average or mediocre. But these little things to start means that when you do, you are blessing yourself, you're honoring God with the discipline that you need, no matter what it is. And then that which you learn, you're able to share and have others in your sphere of influence grow. Life is wasted if we flourish alone. Flourishing means sharing, caring, giving, blessing, and allowing others to bloom where they're planted. I hope this episode of Real Talk was special to you as it has been for me. I really was not even sure how God would have guided me this evening, but I took a leap of faith and I started. And your faithfulness to me means so much. I really pray that today's episode was a blessing for you. And yes, you are going to have guests coming on. For those of you who have just joined for the first time, welcome. Do come back. You are going to have episodes where you're going to gain from guests. Remember, at the end of the day, the mission of Real Talk is to ensure that we engage, encourage, and empower one another to ensure that we truly live life on purpose with passion and prosperity. Remember, today's the day to just start. And I want you to commit to me that you will send me your messages, send me those DMs. Let me know how this impacted on you. Comment in the YouTube channel, but most importantly as well, share it with others that you believe will be blessed. And let it be that we understand that the fact that God has blessed us with this beautiful gift of life, we are meant to bloom and blossom and be a blessing one to another. From my heart to yours. And I have to acknowledge my mom is on here, and mom actually typed in a message for herself. Everybody big up mommy, please. And all of you, wow, thank you so very much for joining. Donna, I see that you made it and you are mega hours ahead. All of these comments I will read at the very end. But I thank you so much. For my new folks who are on, welcome, welcome, welcome. Well, Tash, yes, thanks for bigging up my mom. And this has been such a beautiful way to start. And I have to tell you, I feel reignited now and feel so engaged and truly empowered to get next week's Sunday going so that we can meet again in this space. I pray that you understand that the week that's ahead of you is going to be the best week yet. Why? Because one, you're putting God first, and two, you're going to walk in your purpose, and three, you're going to bless somebody else along the way. Take care from my heart to yours. Be blessed. I love you all. Bye.